God loves you. I'm gonna show you a different way, but I'm not gonna abandon you just because you're doing what you're doing. You're living in sin because like you said, we all sin.
Brandon, we could have this conversation on a later date. So let's
right.
talk about these bullets.
Yeah, in a weird conversation, but go ahead. It's still a good conversation. It's a manly conversation.
Yeah, a lot of people come here to want to be entertained, and we gonna provide them with some entertainment now. Basically, right now we about to do a reaction. We about to do a reaction video on one of the videos. It's a random video that I posted. Right. This will let the audience know our content is not scripted at all. If we have scripted content, it's usually lasts 30 minutes to get around the deep dive on it. Right. But anything 1 minute is not too deep.
And this is my thing because I called you about this because I saw some of the comments like, what's wrong with being creative, making content, showing people, hey, there's a different way of doing something. You can save money. Why don't you try this? I didn't see a lot of people commending you on it because when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's a very clever idea, but people love to jump to the negative. And that's fine. Like I say, I'd rather get that kind of reaction so we'll know what people are really feeling. But it was still a great idea. And I think they kind of missed that part of it and about thinking outside of the box. Like, you don't have to just be programmed to go to the store and buy something, but go ahead.
I would say a lot of people did like it. So this is a good lesson. You can have a lot of people like you, but you still gonna have haters that don't like you. They missed the point. And a study came out this week that says 130 million Americans read and comprehend on the 6th grade level. So they made some people may take our videos and don't see the point, and it goes right over the head.
Which is scary though. That's scary, but that's the reality.
Especially watch this. Excuse my language. Especially coming from country ass nigga. You know what I'm talking about? You can't understand me. Okay. Let's see, Brandon. If you can hear this, give me a thumbs up.
Okay.
I'm gonna put a thumbs up when it's playing. Oh shit! I knew my.
But mouse you on your new computer, so I'm
nah. This ain't me. Hold on. Just about to spend.
I can hear it.
You know what? I was just about to spend $200 something for something to hold my ammo for my lever action. Then I thought about it. I said, why spend all that money? Well, I could just buy this little sleeve for $5, put some cable ties on it, and call it a day. I ain't too good for no cable ties. I already got to get used to this red dot on lever action. I'm not used to that. So we'll see what's going on. We'll see how this work out. Because I shot this with no red dot and using this peephole right here. This thing is like an eagle eye, man. This little Rossi 92 is like an eagle eye. But hey, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, and what works. Cable ties. Look at that. Done deal. That quick, that simple. You know what? All right, Brandon, we need to hear that again?
No. I think we got the message, and that first comment is the one that I saw, and I said, "Oh, I got to call Lewis."
What did it say? What did it say about it?
Bet those zip ties feel good on the face. Very bad idea.
Now, Brandon. Now, some people this to talk, right?
Right.
You see the zip ties on here, right?
I do.
Now watch this. Watch this, Brandon. Look. Okay, let's hold the gun like I hold it.
Right.
Brandon, wait, hold on. Now, I used to have a saying when I was a manager in manufacturing. I say, every time you do metal work, make it so smooth you can rub your dick across it. I can rub my dick across that and nothing happened, Brandon. So
let me ask you this before you start. Do you think it has anything to do with race? I know we go race a bunch of times, but like people do what you just did all the time, or they would still comment the same comment?
Yes, I think it'll have nothing to do with race.
Okay, go ahead.
I think some people don't like cable ties, but they don't realize this. Your car probably at least have 500 cable ties.
That's what I was about to say.
Your
With them
computer,
hoses, right?
your computer at least have 5 cable ties in it. Your washing machine at least have 10. Right. Every tool you work with got some cable ties in it. Right. But somehow I put this gun. I said I'm saving some money. And they said this will hurt me right here, Brandon. You see this?
Right. And that's what I was trying to figure out. Like, do they think it's a firing part in the back of the gun? Like, I don't understand how this could not work. How could this fail? How could you see this failing?
I don't know. When I was making the slide, I said in California they had a mass shooting, right? Asian person shot like 10, 17 people. If you looked at his guns, he had cable ties at the end.
Oh, he did?
So the cable ties was obviously working in his situation.
Right.
Even though he used it at Bass Point. But what people just got something to say, Brandon.
Yeah. And like I said, that's fine because it ultimately helps us. And you kind of want to get pushed back. You don't want to just have a bunch of people agreeing with you because you're not going to learn people's point of view and you're not going to get anything from the public if you don't know how they really think. So I appreciate it, even though I disagree. And we can do that, right? We can disagree with what people have to say and not get in our feelings, not be emotional about it.
I think most people did agree. It's just some people who just didn't like this. You know what I mean?
But why? How could you not like this? You saving money. It's resourceful. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, I talked to you about it. I said, like, that's more a survival kind of thing. And you would think people would be embracing that. But they want to go to the store and buy something that's overpriced. That's probably the parts for it is even cheaper than they paid for it. So I paid for what you set up right there. So
we gonna show, hey, Brandon. Now, my first resort wasn't no damn cable ties, Brandon.
Oh, what was it?
We will get to it,
okay.
But I'm gonna show you what I really, really wanted. But I had to come back to reality and put my big boy drawers on and meet my goal. All right. The second comment says, definitely should spend the money. Why do you think that, Brandon? A person say something like that? You should have spent the money.
Right. Like I say, just to be on the opposite side. Like I say, they saw what you did. They hated on it, you know, and just immediately say, oh, you should have just spent your money. Be a consumer.
Brandon, I bought this gun last month, Brandon. Could you leave that? Last month or a month before that, one of those two. I put it on my credit card. Can't you believe that?
No, I cannot actually.
Do you think I pay interest on it?
No.
Why not?
Because I just know you.
I don't pay no interest. I put it on my credit card, got the 3% cash back, and paid it off in a day.
That sounds like you.
You know what I mean?
And like I say, that's some of the messages that we push on this channel, but people tend to not want to save. They don't want to penny pinch. They don't want to be cheap. And sometimes that'll save you in the long run. Like you said before, you want to eat out, you want to go out for lunch and do all this. But when you turn 50 and 60, you're going to be eating dog food. To quote you, I'm not sure if that's exactly what you said, but
it could be worse because you go watch this. Let's get political. One of the person who's running for president, Nikki Haley, aka the former governor of South Carolina, she wants to push back Social Security. So she wants the people qualified for Social Security. If you're a black guy, you'll be dead by then.
Right. So they want you to work longer when you're older. Then you start
get it. You see the game?
Right.
But go ahead. Okay, let's go to the third one. It says you should at least use black ties to match the color of the rifle. He is correct. He is correct, Brandon. I looked. But I said, now I may have some black ties, but they way deep in something. I don't feel like lifting all them heavy things to get to it.
Right.
But I got some white ones right here at my feet.
And let me try them out. And it worked. So I'm going to rock with this. And I'm going to shoot a video.
I didn't need to try them out. I knew they going to work. They cable ties. You know, I just had to make sure.
Well, let me ask you a question. Have you, that's what I'm about to say. Have you ever put the zip ties in wrong? I still don't know the right way to do it. And sometimes I'll put it in and, you know, you'll pull against it and be like, okay, that's the wrong way. So let me flip it the other way and put them in. That's Brandon, just me.
as a person who had to do industrial maintenance for 15 years, I ain't never put a cable tire. I ain't never put a cable tire wear on.
So what side? So what side is it? Because it's a larger end, it's the back, and it's a smaller end, which is on the front. But I'm not sure which one is which.
All right, you got like a box at one end and the strap at the other end.
But you look, on the side of the box, it looks like it's a larger box and a smaller box. You know what I'm saying?
Will you let me explain the damn thing?
Go ahead. I'm trying to break it down even more. Go ahead.
Go ahead. You got a box at one end, and the box is connected to a strap.
Okay, gotcha.
If you curl the strap around without twisting it and put it back in the box, that is the correct way to put on a cable tie.
Okay, but you can still flip it the other way and do it. You know, I'm just saying. So, which way is?
Most cable ties used to have a natural curve, a slightly natural curve in it. If you curve it that way, the arm might go in.
So the rough edge on the outside, that's the outer part, and the smooth is on the inside.
The rough edge always need to be on outside.
There you go. Okay.
So you went real technical with
because I put them in. That's the wrong way. Let me do it the other way, and then it worked. But I'm
see
never
what Brandon did. He made the smooth side
right
all the way around, then put it in there. No, the rough edge needs to be showing on the outside all the time.
Because usually when I'm using them, I mean, I've done it for like my grow lights and that kind of stuff. I'm usually holding something and then I'm trying to put a zip tie on it and lock it up on the grow rack that I had. And like I said, I'm like, oh shoot, this is the wrong way. So I got to try to flip it real quick.
And I'm going to show you my experience. I had some mechanics was too lazy. When you tighten up a cable tie, they'll leave the tail still hanging out. So the tail,
you cut it off. Yeah.
You cut it off. You got to cut it off. Don't be that lazy. Guys making $30 an hour won't cut the tail off. You know what I'm saying?
I got you. Very precise.
What do you mean? Ain't that damn precise?
No, because some people just lock it down and let it be.
No, it's everything is a right and a wrong to everything, man. And they was just doing the wrong way. What the hell? Hold on, people. We about to go to the next one. All right. Now, for everything I do, I have goals. Brandon, what's my first goal?
Okay, accurate at 50 to 100 yards.
All right. My second goal was good accuracy. I should have said accuracy, but you know, hey, this man in the metaverse. From 0 to 50 yards. Brandon, what was my third goal?
Extra ammo on the gun.
All right. And my last goal for the metrosexuals out there in the comments.
Right, they got a
black accessories. I did not match the cable ties. I did not want to dig deep in my toolbox, right over there, real deep. I didn't want to try to find some black ones, so I just put these puppies on there.
Let me ask you a question. Go ahead. Yeah. But I'm gonna let you finish. I'll let you finish before we jump more.
Those was my needs. The last one was a want, but the first three was a need. What was your question, Brandon?
So back to want. Like, do you customize guns? Because that's a big thing now. You know, it's big in gaming. Like, people spend a lot of money customize their gun on Call of Duty just for another one to come out next year to spend more money. And they do it in real life too. And it's a lot of beautiful guns that you could customize all kind of different ways. Put different pieces on it, change them up. Are you into that too? Do you have a lot of custom guns?
All right. My preference, I like a lot of stock guns. Mm-hmm. If I personalize a gun, it would be a gun that's not made really for shooting. It'll be made for displays.
Got you.
Also, allegedly, some YouTube lawyers who specialize in gun rights, they urge people really not to too much customize their guns in like like eagle eye or put crosses on it.
Why?
Because when they bring that to a jury, if you shoot somebody,
They just make you look crazy.
Yeah, they gonna make you look crazy. Like I said, if you have a gun right here, and on the back of your gun it says, "I'm gonna kill a mother sucker," on the back of the gun,
right?
And
it's gonna be hard to.
If you use that gun, they gonna braid the gun in trial. Latest jury, so and so, the defendant has, "I'm gonna kill a mother sucker" on his gun.
right.
And he happened
to kill a motherfucker.
He happened to shoot this person. So he was already something wrong in the head. Not
Correct.
mentally disabled, but he had malice already up in him.
Right. And I think about that too. When people own a lot of weapons too, can they use that in court? Is that
yes? Guys, every time you watch the news, at least every 2 weeks, especially in New York, somebody go do one illegal act, and the weapon and the person happened to have 300 rounds of ammo and 3 firearms, they'll pay them off as he was a mass killer, brother.
Right. I know, right.
There's a mass every time in hold on. Where I live at, when they pull somebody over and they got an ounce of cocaine or an ounce of fentanyl, some fentanyl pills, they'll pull out the pistol, one extended magazine, and 50 rounds lay out the table like this man was on to the teeth.
Right.
Dangerous. So that's what they do, Brandon.
Yeah.
But man, this was the goal. The goal was to have okay accuracy from 50 to 100 yards. That means if I had to pull, I aim for your chest and hit you in your stomach. That's okay accuracy. Good accuracy between 0 and 50 yards. If I aim, it's going to go exactly where I aim at. I want an extra ammo. So if me and Brandon jump on a boat to go fishing in Lake Murray, we could bring this rifle, just put it down there, and we straight. In case we have to use more rounds that's what's in this tube, I got some in the back.
Right.
And for cosmetics purposes, I wanted the stuff to be black.
I got you.
All right. Now, Brandon, let's go deep down in the rabbit hole. This one I wanted, Brandon. This is the gun I want. This is the accessories I wanted.
Now, what kind of gun is this before we go into it?
It's not exactly like this, but it's similar. It's a level action Henry, probably chamber in 44, 30-30, or 45-70. But it's basically the same gun, this in a different caliber and a different brand. But the accessories, I could buy these accessories for this gun right here. And this is what I wanted, Brandon. I wanted a red dot for $349. I wanted a handguard for $169. I wanted a stock for $275. And I wanted something to hold the bullets for $65.
Now, is that reasonable? Is that reasonably priced? You think that's fair?
Yes.
Okay. But
yeah, it's fair.
But why? How would you think? Why would you think that's fair? Because maybe I would look at this and be like, well, this is kind of like buying a Gucci belt or some Jordans. Is it, well, no, I wouldn't say Jordan. We'll just stick to designer stuff because it just seemed like, well, you already got your firearm. This stuff is not necessarily that necessary, right?
Well, these accessories does two things. Like, I want to see, can I pull this whole thing up? Let me see. Can this happen?
Because it looks great. Yeah, it looks great.
All right, can you see this?
Yeah.
Now the handguard, you are able to add accessories to it. Like it's easily add a flashlight. It's easy to add a laser. It easily add a handguard, an extra handguard, or it just looked badass.
Right. I hear you.
Now that's for $169. Can you see your screen, Brennan?
Yeah.
All right, this red dot. The red dot I wanted, I don't want to say the brand name, but I think it it was a Vortex, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's an okay brand name. $349.
For a dot. Like I know
real.
they've got cheaper sites that you could buy, right? That would still work on there.
They do. But the one I originally wanted was that. But it had a little problem.
What?
The one I originally wanted was a 6 MOA.
Uh-huh.
And that was a little too large to hit my accuracy like I want.
I got you. And I guess that's a good way to look at it because that's an important feature on your gun. You want to make sure that everything is lined up and in alignment so you can hit what you're trying to hit and it works the way you want it to work. So that is a very important piece. And I can understand why it would cost that much money if it's going to work and be effective like you need it.
Actually, it costs more, but it wasn't accurate like I want it to be.
Mm.
Like a 6 MOA, that means don't quote me, that means at 100 yards, when you pull the trigger, it can hit anywhere between 6 inches in diameter.
I got you.
So the smaller it is, the smaller diameter it can hit. So it's a little variance.
Oh, hold on 1 second.
All right. Now the stock that I wanted was this stock right here that costs $275. Now this stock, it does look badass. This stock will lighten up your gun. This stock will allow you to add more accessories to your gun because it had like an M-lock system right here that can add more rounds to it. But that was $275. And next is the ammo.
And that's probably my favorite part right there. So
what, this right here?
Yeah. Mm.
The ammo, that little contraption was $65. And the only thing it done is just, hold on, let me show you. It's just held this right here, $65. But to do that, you had to buy $275,
right,
plus $65 just to do this right here. So what I really wanted was $858.99 plus tax. Tax is 6%. Now, Brandon, is $858 a lot of money?
Is it a lot of money for the average person? Yes.
Wow.
On something that you're probably not. I mean, I can see if this was maybe your main weapon, but what firearm is this for you? Probably number 6, maybe, like in your active rotation. Would you take it to the range? Maybe, maybe not. Like how much daylight is it gonna see?
This firearm, I purchased this for several reasons. First reason, I always want me a lever action, so that I always want me a lever action. The second reason I purchased this could be an okay truck gun where gun laws are very strict.
Okay.
Because people don't like to see AK-47s. They don't like to see AR-15s in certain up north states.
Right.
But this right here, this is a regular old hunting rifle. It ain't gonna hurt no. It's a regular old hunt. That's all it is. It's no big deal. Somebody get caught on the news shooting people with us, they ain't gonna say they had an assault rifle.
Right.
They ain't gonna say it.
Right.
It ain't.
That's a good point.
This is gonna be an excellent truck gun. It'll be an excellent boat gun. So that was the use. And I personally wanted a lever action too. So that was the only use for it.
I got you. But you could have got some designer shoes, right? No,
Brandon, what they got to do with it?
I'm just saying, you saying $800 extra on top of what you paid for. Like if you're trying to do this, or you're trying to make it seem like it's not a lot of money, or I mean, because it could be depending on where you are in life. But as long as you have your priorities straight and this is something that you want to do and you budget it in, it kind of doesn't matter.
Well, it does to an extent. Let's think about this. I had goals.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to meet all these criteria.
Mm-hmm.
All these met the criteria, but it cost $858. Now, at the current time, this is March the 12th. We have a federal system federal treasury system that want to get rid of jobs to stop inflation.
Mm-hmm.
Most Americans don't have $400 in the bank cash.
Right.
Most Americans don't have $1,000 in the bank cash.
Right. What percentage do you think? Because I think people
I know
need
the
to hear this.
percentages.
Yeah,
You
but
know
that's
I
what
know
I'm
the
saying. Right. But people need to hear this. Go ahead. What is the percentage of people have $400? Let's say $400.
I think it's around 40 to 50% don't have $400, and damn near 80% don't have
They don't got 1,000. Right. Mm.
And guess what, guys? You got people making 6 figures. They don't have $1,000 cash in the bank.
Mm.
They leave paycheck to paycheck, just like regular old people.
Right.
So $858 is a lot of money. I used to listen to a guy that described he had a policy, never buy nothing that you can't buy it 7 times over.
Okay. Well, I've heard twice, but who said it was 7 times over? But
Twice over?
Mm-hmm.
It was a guy, what's his name? He dealing gold and silver.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot his name, Elon or something. But he said his policy only buy stuff that you could buy 7 times over.
Gotcha.
Now see, 7 times over, that's a big number, ain't it?
Right.
But watch this. $100. If you got $700 in the bank and you want to buy something cost $100, you could buy
it. Right.
So it's a big number, but it still holds you to it.
Yeah, but you got to think about your money in that way, and things come up. Life happens. Like something could happen to your car, or something could happen to somebody in your family. They need to borrow some money, or you know what I'm saying. You want to go out to eat. Like you got to calculate all these things and try to hold on to your money as much as possible, so you can be saving and building and stacking, like people like to say. Just because you never know what's going to happen. And your money, you can spend your money, but once it's gone, it's gone. If you save it, you always have options.
Now, if I went by that policy 100%, if I had to spend 7 times over for this gun, I wouldn't buy it, Brandon.
We wouldn't have a lot of stuff, but
I could buy an HVAC system for my rental property. I want to buy this, but if it was 2 times over, yeah, I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
But 7 times, hell no. But that's a good policy to live by. But Brandon, now this is the gun I got now. This is how we sit. I didn't put the gun price in there, but the accessories, $5.99, $4.99.
Mm-hmm.
The red dot that does the same thing on sale, $74.99.
Right. For a
grand total of $79.98. And some people, the minority people said I should have spent more. It don't look right.
Mm.
But what they failed to ask, what was my goals.
Right.
It met all my goals, Brandon.
And you're happy with it. And it's got your imprint on it. Like I think sometimes that stuff is important. Like
I ain't happy. I'm satisfied.
Right, you satisfied. Well, I think you happy too. I think you when because I do stuff like that too, and I get. I'm not gonna say a rise out of it, but it feels good doing stuff where you can take scraps and turn it into something that's functional and get, like you say, meet your goals.
Amen. Mm. Now the difference is $780. Now we just said most people don't have $1,000. But we had some people in the audience complain about me saving $780 and still meet my goal was a problem.
Right.
But you know what I could do with $780, Brandon?
A lot of things.
I could buy 1,300 rounds of 38 specials. You know how long it would take me to shoot 1,300 rounds out of this gun?
A long time.
How many rounds I got in here? I probably got 50 or 60 rounds in this gun now. I'm taking it this week or next week to the gun range to put more. But I got 50 or 60 rounds in there already.
Mm.
I could buy 735 rounds of 357 for that price. Now let's put this down into reality. How much per shot, Brandon, Without doing the math, guess how much it costs to shoot the 38 special?
How much?
60 cents per shot. Every pull of trigger, 60 cents. Pah, watch this. That bullet cost 60 cents. All right. Is 60 cents a lot of money? But if you shoot 366 cents, 60 cents, is that a lot of money, Brandon?
Yeah. It starts to add up.
All right. Guess how much it costs to shoot a 357?
How much?
$1.06 per round. So you go to the gun range. I think this thing holds 8. To shoot this gun full cycles, it would be over $8, Brandon. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And and people had something to say because I saved money and decided to have practice, to use the money on practice, practice, and practice. That I made the wrong decision.
Right. Well, that's just so hard to argue against what you did, but people will do it. You know, I could see if you didn't buy the gun, you tried to build a gun, maybe I would be like, okay, Lewis, now you're doing a little too much. But you bought the gun.
What you mean try to build a gun? What's wrong with building a gun?
I'm not saying anything's wrong with it, but can you build a gun?
You can't build this gun, but you can build a modular gun.
I'm not saying, but I'm just saying, like, you bought the real gun. You're just doing accessories at this point. So you have a fully functional gun. You pay full. What am I gonna say? You pay full price for it, but you're good to go. You just wanted to customize it some in your own way and save money in the process.
It's not customized.
That's not customized to you.
I just added on with accessories to make it more usable.
Right, but you customize the design some. Like if you bought that other stuff, spending $800, that's still a customization.
Now those would be customizations.
If you write a smiley face on your barrel, that's customization. You customize it, put your own touch on it.
Okay, I agree with you with that. Right.
But like I said, it's just hard to argue with that. But what we got right here?
I don't feel like going. My charisma. My charisma is having a strong sense of manhood or masculinity. And it seems like a lot of people associate my charisma with firearms. Yeah. So the bigger gun you have, the bigger your dick is.
Right.
The bigger you can please a woman. Yeah. That's why in some of our videos, when we talked about 9mm or 22s, guys got angry. Because we was talking, if I said a 22 or 9mm is fine.
Yeah.
I just told those guys they got to. I don't care about your size. I care about what it does.
Right.
You care. You view it as the size of your dick. That's why you can't see past it.
Right.
You know?
Which is weird.
It ain't weird. But
no, if you putting logic to the side and I'm not gonna say fantasizing about these guns, but you know,
fantasizes, Brandon.
You obsessing about the size and all this stuff, and it's just weird. Like a gun is a gun to me. I mean, they can do different things, but they all, they can do the same thing as well. It may not be in the same capacity, but yeah, is it still effective? Yeah. Can you give your opinion on bullets? Yeah.
You ever wonder why the French, Spain, Portuguese, and Great Britain was able to take over the world so quickly, easily?
Did I wonder about it? Maybe. Go ahead. Humor me.
They got off of killing.
What do you mean?
It was satisfaction to have a big gun and use that big gun against people. So in a 1100s, 1200s, 1400s, right after the Roman Empire fell, people in Europe said, hey, we ain't under this Roman control no more. We in our own territory. Let's fight to keep our own territory.
Gotcha.
And for 800 years, they've been fighting each other. And then a miracle happened, Brandon. Guess what the miracle happened?
What happened?
The Atlantic slave trade.
Right.
Instead of focus on fighting your next door neighbors in Europe, they said, let's focus on sending these people who've been fighting for 300, 400, 500 years across the water to conquer some stuff. So that's what you went up against. That's what the Native Americans and the natives in this side of the earth went up against. They went up against a people who was fighting for 800 years, Brandon.
I got you.
And how can you win against that?
You can't. Well, let me say this one thing. Lewis, have we been in school together? Have we been in classes together?
Allegedly.
Yeah. I've been in class with Lewis. Now, Lewis he knows everything about history, but back in the day, I remember Lewis being in class. He was paying attention, but he was actually drawing too. He was doing his own thing in class.
Wait, hold on, now you got me down. Hold on. What class now? I'm gonna take allegedly off the table. What class you talking about?
I just remember being in some classes with you, and I just didn't know you had such a passion for history. Like I knew you liked art. I knew you liked. Let's see. We were decent in math. You enjoyed math, even though we was in that other class. We ain't gonna talk about that too much. but I just didn't know you were such a historian. The historian you are now. Like you have a lot of knowledge as far as dates, how they taught history in class. I think you have a different understanding of history now, and that comes from reading material at post college, old. I don't know. You read a lot of books too, so you gained a lot of knowledge from a lot of different sources outside of the school system. Is what I'm trying to say.
Well, okay, I can put it like this, Brandon. It's when I do enjoy history, especially histories dealing with America. Mm-hmm. So I greatly enjoy American history. When you read a lot of sources, you kind of connect. If you reading to comprehend and to expand your mind, you connect a lot of sources. Like guess what, Brandon? 2 weeks ago, I discovered a new war tactic.
Okay.
And it's weird. You kind of made emphasis to it several weeks ago.
Okay, what is it?
You remember when we was talking about firearms, right?
Yeah.
And you said the guys in the Civil War used to do this, turn it off and do it out, did like that. Mm-hmm. I discovered last week or 2 weeks ago when Great Britain was in India, they like to control things. In India, getting all the textile stuff, they hired some Indian guys to fight for them because that's what they do. You the minority, you got to hire the locals to fight for you.
Correct. And
I discovered that Great Britain was sending those little packages like this.
They wouldn't tear open.
They required grease, and the grease they was using came from pigs and cows. Now, the Indian people, Buddhists and Muslim, their cow and pig is sacred. Mm-hmm. So if that touches your mouth, you're supposed to kill yourself, something like that.
I got you.
So what kind of mindset do certain people have? The people fight for your stuff, but you still seeing stuff that they'll find sacrilegious to them to use.
Right.
And guess what happened, Brandon?
What?
The Indian people found out about it. And an uproar happened.
Of course. Yeah, because they take that very serious. You remember one of our friends was Indian. Had a hotel, and we kind of joked about him. And you kind of joked about him too, but it was very serious. It was very serious about how they did with cows, and they would bathe in the river with the cows or something like that. But like I said, that's very serious to them, and they don't joke about that kind of stuff. So imagine being tricked, and you're at war, you're using something, and you had no idea.
No, you're fighting for these people for money.
Right.
But at the same time, they sending stuff against your religion,
right,
to try to break you in this whole process.
Right. And you don't even see it, and you don't even really realize it.
Oh, they realize once they find out what happened. It's called the Indian Mutiny.
Okay, I have to try to look up in it.
So
look
you
into that.
Look that up, and then when you read it, like it's something stuff like Muslims and Indians. Once you die, they gotta like take the body and clothe them up and like do special
wrap
stuff.
them up.
Yes.
Do it like a certain. Okay.
And during the war, these particular people were so malicious. They used to take the people, put them in front of cannons to kill them, and let the cannon go off and it bust through their chest. So the people can't take the body and wrap it up and do it. Because the body was blown out into pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think about warfare and all this type of stuff, religion is used as a weapon.
And it's still being used now.
Yeah.
With us,
I remember sometimes in our conversation last year, I said, Brandon, don't put none of that Christianity stuff on me.
Well, I try to get you away from it, but still, whether you're spiritual, whether you're Christian or whatever your connection with God is, I think it's important to have a connection with God and think about that kind of stuff because you will need it.